Check. 1, 2, 3.
The D.
Brief.
This is the D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's art.
Arts and entertainment scene.
This is the D.
Brief.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Seth Ressler.
And I'm Becky Scarcello.
And our guest today is Sadie Qualiotto of Hip in Detroit. This is this fantastic lifestyle website all about the city of Detroit and everything that's going on. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you.
I do wonder if you've got a favorite blog post from over the years.
Oh my God, that would be impossible for me. Do I have a favorite memory? My favorite memory so far is like it's opened so many doors for me. And I grew up in the 90s, like in grunge. So I got to photograph Courtney Love once. And that was like a mecca moment of like, how is this even happening? How did my blog get me in here right now? Like I almost cried. So
I bet. Like, how is this my life? Yay.
But, you know, we've gotten to do so many things. Like when Kanye came to town, you know, I ended up in a room with Kim Kardashian. And it's just funny that something that me and my best friend did together 8 years ago, like we've got to go on a lot of adventures.
All right, Becky, let's kick it off with some trivia.
I am continuing the theme we started yesterday of Orchestra Hall.
I want to get it right.
So we'll see. Orchestra Hall is 100 years old, turned 100 in October 2019. And there's all this celebrating going on around it. So I thought we might need to, learn a little bit more about it. There is a beautiful book out, by the way, so anything we don't cover in our trivia here, you can find out in this book by Mark Stryker. So he's the former Free Press Arts reporter, music critic. We've had him on the show.
He was a fantastic guest.
He also did the Jazz from Detroit book. So he did this book called Destiny, 100 Years of Music, Magic, and Community, all about Orchestra Hall. It's a gorgeous coffee table book with beautiful pictures and drawings and such like that. So the architect of Orchestra Hall is a guy named Howard Crane, and he went on to design more than 40 theaters in Michigan. Which one of these theaters did he not design? A, the Opera House, B, the Fox, C, the Gem, and D, the Fillmore. Which one of those did Howard Crane, the architect of Orchestra Hall, not design as well?
Give me the choices again.
Opera House, the Fox Theater, the Gem Theater, and the Fillmore.
So he designed 3 of those.
Yes.
Is one of them different? Is one of them...
Man, this is hard. For some reason, I think it's the Gem Theater, but I'm probably wrong.
The one story I remember about the Gem Theater, I don't remember who told us this. They moved the Gem Theater.
They did, yeah.
I remember that detail that, I don't know, they moved it like a block or something. It wasn't like a huge distance.
Yeah, it was when we were talking to Tim McKay of the Corktown Experience.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, they had to. I remember it clearly.
This is awesome. See, I'm learning other things.
How they moved it to make room for Ford Field.
So I'm going to go with that just because they moved it.
Okay.
There's no logic to
You
that.
guys are right. Yeah.
Because I knew the Fox was designed by him. And then what else did you say?
The Fillmore and the Opera House.
The Fillmore I knew too. The Opera House I did not know. I was hoping you were going to give me like a con building, and I know all of those, and then I'd be able to
I
take
didn't
it
want to
out
make
of there.
it too easy.
Yeah.
But incidentally,
I know
Seth's like,
those.
how'd you know that?
Too easy.
When you're a Detroiter, you kind of, and you're into this.
But
you
I mean,
know
I write about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And so here's the other thing. When you have to write about the same things over and over again for 8 years, I got to find a new angle every time.
That's
and
true.
I think that's the other thing that made me good at social media is I know how to keep milking the same thing over and over again.
in a different
So it's
perspective.
like you just will go through stuff like, what's the fact about this place that nobody knows? Like, oh, it was the first place that had handicap rails or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it can
Yeah.
be, but you got to have some kind of grip to it. So that's why I know a lot of useless facts.
All right, Sadie, something that we like to do on the podcast is have people call in who are experts in a particular subject that we know very little about. Actually, I take that back. We know a fair amount about drinking.
We do. So we just like to have more encouragement in this
Right.
area.
But this guy still knows more than us.
Oh,
I mean,
lots more.
We're good, but Nick Britsky of nickdrinks.com knows more than us. Nick, thanks so much for calling in.
Thank you.
So let's talk about dry January, because this is a thing that I guess a lot of people do, not me.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Sadie, did you take part in Dry January?
I mean, here's my thing. Well, this sounds judgy, but I mean, no, because I can just not drink for a few weeks sometimes. So I don't think about that.
I understand.
No, I'm
Yeah.
with you too. Sometimes I
Sometimes I
feel
just
like
don't
it.
drink, and then sometimes I just drink a lot, and it's great both ways for me.
Well, Nick, you're the expert. What happened with Dry January? Was this a big deal? It feels like it's getting bigger.
Yeah, every year it gets bigger and bigger. I would say this is probably year 3 that it's really been on the national stage, and it felt like it had a lot of oxygen this year. So I would say this is the first time that bars really took notice. And there was actually an article that came up in the UK that said it's affecting sales. So it's tough because as a bar owner, January is hard. I mean, you just went, really, really fast into January or into December. You had all those holidays, and then boom, everything's over. And then in Detroit, we lose the auto show. So it's really, really, really tough to bring on this Dry January thing. So I totally feel for the bar owners. But on the other hand, sometimes you got to take a break. You got to relax the liver. If you need a little month of detox, I think that's good for the body.
Well, I think too, it breeds these inventions and changes and good things coming. Like I went to Urban Rest. We had a meeting there and I didn't feel like drinking. So I got the kombucha. It's delightful. Yep. I still felt like I was part of the crew and having something nice. You go to Willis Show Bar. They always have a mocktail on the menu. Like bars just need to start doing more of that.
That's really a new thing. I feel like we're just getting to the menus that have that. For the first time last year, we actually had an award for our Golden Jiggers where we gave out an award for the best non-alcoholic cocktail menu. And you're starting to see some non-alcoholic spirits as well. So these are just, really, really intense, flavored, sometimes flavored water, sometimes flavored other products. And they're really starting to get to a point where some bartenders can have fun and make a drink that has flavor and still excite people.
Completely agree.
Let's talk about Valentine's Day. Because I will be drinking on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Any cocktail spots that you want to recommend around Detroit?
I think we've had some great growth, and there are some really adorable little romantic spaces to go check out. I'm like Porky Pig. One is Candy Bar. That has been a longtime favorite of mine. They have that great motif in there, the pink, the chandelier. It's cozy. It's probably going to be tough to get into, so I would say go early. But right around the corner from them is Evening Bar, in the Shinola Hotel. They have a beautiful layout, the candlelight, the low lighting, fantastic drinks from Chaz. But you could go with some of the old standboys, like, Bad Luck, it's not that old, but still, it's cozy. It has really, really top-notch high-end drinks, and, that's kind of a good atmosphere to set. If you're something a little more out there and you know how to get in, because I believe this is still an invite-only place, there is cash only, and that is located under Prime and Proper. So if you know the tricks to get in, and I'm not even sure I know, you can go and get a drink there. Granted, that's a little more of a party vibe than some of the more high-end classy cocktail joints.
Do you guys have Valentine's Day plans already?
I do. I made reservations for my husband and I to go to Savant in Midtown. They have a Valentine's special. It's 4 course.
I was there yesterday. I love that place. Great restaurant.
Yeah, I'm excited. And it comes with a bottle of bubbly.
Love that. Love that. I'm going to go to a show at Planet Ant, actually. They have like an improv Dr. Spookers thing that sounded fun to me. I'm not big on Valentine's Day.
Really?
I think every day should be a day for love.
I agree.
Very cool. So those are some cool cocktail spots. These are all spots that we have to make reservations for in advance, Nick. Is that right?
Yeah, if they take them. Again, these are probably some of the smaller, more intimate spaces. So, you got to be careful. They probably don't need the reservations. So you might have to take your luck with the walk-ons.
Wow. All right. The other big thing that's coming up is the Oscars.
Yes. Yeah. We just survived the Superb Owl. So now we are going into the Oscars, and I had a couple drinks that I picked.
Becky and I are looking at each other.
What?
The what?
I know what you're talking about.
The Superb Owl.
A lot of people call it that.
Oh.
He's another non-sports person like me.
It's the Super Bowl.
Oh.
See, now...
Super Bowl.
I get it.
On radio, you're not allowed to use that term. because
'Cause
it's trademarked and all that.
proprietary,
But you
yeah.
know, nobody's going to be sending cease and desist letters to this podcast. So
Probably
it's
not.
okay.
Let's hope you get that big so that they do.
I
That's what I'm
know.
always hoping for.
We already sent one. We sent a cease and desist to somebody else that was trying to use a deep.
Boom.
Yeah,
You're served.
we did. That's another story. So I'm sorry. Go on. Oscars.
Yeah, so I think that there's not a ton of Michigan competitors this year, but I am pushing for Ford versus Ferrari, which is up for a couple different nominations. And the cocktail that I thought would be fun for this is an Italian 66. So we've all heard of the French 75. This is a little take on that. We're going to use some Ford's gin, which is kind of a fun gin. We got some lemon juice, some simple syrup, a little Angostura bitters, and then we're going to top it with some Italian Prosecco. And for the full recipe, I'll be on WXYZ Saturday morning, and you can actually see me make these 3 cocktails.
That sounds dreamy.
I always wonder how you come up with the concepts for these. I mean, does it start with the name really when you're coming up with a cocktail like this?
You need somewhere to start because when I look at the 400 plus bottles I have, it's like how do you need a jump of creativity. You just like have writer's block. So if you can start with a name, if you can start with a spark, if you can start with a flavor, you need something to build off it, or you'll just stare at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be like, cars, gasoline.
Well, I like that. Did you start with the Prosecco? Like that kind of seems maybe the jumping off point of that one, the Italian.
So funny enough, I started with the Ford's gin because I
Ford.
knew that they had that. And then I was just like, all right, I want bubbles for a celebration. So then I started searching gin and champagne drinks. That took me to the French 75. And then I said, we can't use French champagne. We can use Italian Prosecco. And that's kind of how I got there.
Love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Connecting the dots.
Any other Oscar cocktails you want to let us in on?
Yeah, I was thinking about the East Coast New Year's celebration, and this is for Parasite. So Parasite is a Korean film that I'm really pushing for. They are currently celebrating Lunar New Year, at least up till right before the Oscars happen. And so I decided to go with 1 ounce of chilled soju, which is a Korean liquor. Go with a half an ounce of an orange juice, like a mandarin orange or a clementine. You're going to put that in a glass, and you're going to top it with some sparkling. So really simple, has a little bit of kind of fortification for a little Korean flair. And I think that'd be a great way to celebrate the win for them.
I like that.
They won the Golden Globe for Best Foreign Film, so
They did. And it's funny
safe
because
bet.
if you watch that debate, like, should they just be a normal film? Like, can't just everyone be part of that? So I always just kind of root for the little guy because I feel like, Hollywood just kind of needs those new stories to keep it fresh and lively. So I'm always pushing for them.
I don't even know if my favorite movie of last year is up for an award.
What is it?
But it should certainly be up for a cocktail. Booksmart.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see that.
This is
I
Olivia
heard good
Wilde's
things.
directorial debut.
Yeah.
It is like a John Hughes film updated for a new generation. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It follows
I heard it was good.
2, really smart, nerdy girls through the last day of high school. And they finally decide that they're going to go all out and party. So what's a good cocktail for something like that? You got anything, Nick? Where do you start with that?
So that I would start with kind of a cocktail or a flavor from high school. So thinking like a very inexpensive liquor. So like a Boone's Farm. or
That's the immediate one that came to mind. Boone's Farm, Strawberry Fields.
something like that you could buy like really bottom shelf. And then take that and you could go really simple with like an easy mixer, or you could just like go straight crazy against the wall and mix it with like a fancy brandy and just kind of play both sides of the aisle. It's tough because a lot of those like really cheap ones too have a lot of off flavors. So you want to kind of pile on more flavors to kind of cover it up. Hence why a lot of them are sweet and cloying.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's kind of where I go. I
Sweet
just
and
drink a cheap
cloying is
beer.
definitely the theme of this film. I think that works.
Oh, well. So
yeah.
there you go.
And if I remember, they got in like a lot of fights during the 2, and there was the fight at the party.
Yes, it was great. You go see it. Absolutely love that film. All right, Nick Brisky, thank you so much. The website is nickdrinks.com. Also, thanks for having us on the Facebook Live show earlier this week. You do that every Tuesday night, right?
Every Tuesday at 9:00, we're getting our sea legs, so come check it out. Let us know what your thoughts, and let us know what you want us to drink.
All we have to do is look up the Facebook page, right?
Facebook page, nickdrinks.com, all spelled out.
All right, Nick, thanks so much for checking in.
Thanks a lot.
The D
Debrief, your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.
This is the Debrief.
Brief.
Becky hates it. That little piece of production made the holdover from the.
Yeah, I'm like,
I actually really like that
oh,
one.
see, I am probably in the minority, but yeah, I'm like, oh, we're redoing the show. Good. And then he shows back up with that.
Yep, she hates it. That's the only reason we keep
like
it
it.
around. All right, see?
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sadie. Whose team are you on?
Let's do some weekend recommendations. What have you guys got?
Okay, so who likes a good music competition? Did you guys do like American Idol or any of those?
I liked American Idol when it first came out. I was definitely a Kelly Clarkson girl.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a Masked Singer person?
I do not understand that show in any way, shape, or form. I tried to watch it once and I was like, nope. I couldn't believe the people that were on it, though. It seemed like it was pretty star-studded.
It was.
Yeah. Well, how about if you could see a live version, like an excitement of a competition, and you could name your price and you can see it in a gorgeous setting. So we've been talking about the Orchestra Hall. This is taking place at Orchestra Hall this weekend. It's the Sphinx Competition Finals. So do you guys know about the Sphinx?
No.
I do. We interviewed them early in this podcast.
Oh, okay. Probably before my time even.
Yeah, I think before even you were on. But it's a great organization.
It's super cool. So this is the finals day with 18 emerging classical musicians. They are all Black and Latino. So the pool is meant to increase diversity in orchestras all over the country. So they're string players. They come from all over. These are the best of the best, like young people. Amazing. Honestly, I think even if you're not if classical music isn't your top choice, you would still love it.
I like to watch anybody that's good at an instrument.
Exactly. It is. I can't emphasize enough how great these people are. And the winner gets $50,000.
Holy moly.
And there's an audience component where you can vote too, and the audience choice gets $5,000. So it's live voting. So super cool. And you can literally go on the website, dso.org, and say what you want to pay.
Wow.
For the ticket.
If I remember correctly, there's also a lot of other events for people who are players that go on around this competition, and there's just a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
going
They
on.
get clued into all sorts of opportunities. So that's on Saturday, February 8th. Check it out, the Sphinx Finals Competition Concert.
Well, mine's a Saturday thing too. So I guess this one's later.
choices,
Go to that earlier and then go to this. So Jax Anderson, formerly known as Flint Eastwood, is coming to play Detroit for really the first time. It was like an open show since she's made this big identity change, if you will. She did like a small unplanned thing, but even I couldn't get to that one. So this will be like her first time going on stage, doing her Jax Anderson thing. She's released a bunch of singles recently, and she's playing with Shortly, who's another really great local artist, and Who Boy, who I've heard great things about and have not seen. So I'm excited. I think that's a full band, Who Boy. I don't think it's an artist.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So, but Jax is amazing. Nobody puts on a show like her. I once saw her take everybody in the Crowfoot and get them sitting on the ground and get them all to jump up at the same time. And it was a sold out show. Like her control of a crowd, and whatever you pay to get in that show, you will get it. Like you will have the time of your life. And Al Club's great.
Oh, I love that place. Yeah, great energy.
My recommendation for this weekend is Winter Blast. It's that time again. And I love this event because it's a good excuse to go downtown if you haven't been for a while. And that tends to happen around the holidays. You know, you get Thanksgiving, you get Christmas, and I feel like I've been home a lot.
Yes.
And I want to get out and I want to go downtown, and I really like this event. It's a holdover from the Super Bowl. We were talking about the Super Bowl when it was in Detroit here last week, and this event started as a result of the Super Bowl being here, and they've just kept it going every year.
And it's good because it's family.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've taken the grandkids and stuff like that the last couple of years and gone down the slides and stuff like that. It's free thanks to Quicken Loans. It's only one weekend this year. This is they tried expanding it to more weekends last year, but it's back to one weekend this year. You got things like the slide. I've never actually watched the Polar Plunge. I do want to see that
Really?
at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Can adults go down this slide?
Yes.
I did.
Okay,
Yes.
because that's
But-
what I want. I want to go down a slide.
But I'm short enough that I can pass off as
As an adolescent.
I don't think that's why they let you on the slide.
But they have the facial hair that gives you away.
Yeah, you do. So all the details are over at winterblast.com. Sadie from Hip in Detroit, thank you so much for joining us again today on the show. We'll have you back one last time tomorrow And of course, people can go to the website, hipindetroit.com, and you've got your own personal website too, right?
Yeah, sadiequiliotto.com, spelled Quagliotto.
Nice. Look, want to let you know that we have a place on the website where you can submit a song, or if you're a comedian and you've recorded a comedy album, because I know a handful of local comedians have, you can submit a track from your comedy album. It's right there. Just go to thedebriefdetroit.com. Speaking of songs, Becky, what are we closing out today with?
Yeah, well, I have a brand new single from a local band. So the song is called The Truth. It's by a band called The Fruits. So they are a trio from Berkeley, right by me, and they're playing this Friday at the New Way Bar. So they're indie rock. I think it's pretty happy music, feel good music. They celebrate all things fruit. So it's kind of tongue in cheek. You know, they talk about the cultural impact of fruits. Like, for instance, what would Motown be without Berry Gordy? Get it?
Wow, that's a reach.
But you just got to check them out. Like, they wear clothing with fruit on it. You know, they carry the theme to the end. So this is their brand new single called The Truth.
All right, until tomorrow, Detroit's moving.
Keep up.
It's not a waste of money, honey. I just want to make things good for you, so you know, yeah, that I'm the truth. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not a waste of time, my darling. I just want to show the best to you, so you know, well, that I'm the truth. I'm the truth, yeah. Well, it's walls that start constructing in the elementary days. When the children start destructing, they divert the blame that we gale. Making bad decisions that we know they ought to make. Oh, what am I now? Yeah, well, one good thing remains. Ooh, but anyway. It's not a waste of driving. When I'm with you, I'm alive, and I don't have to prove, no, anything to you. Well, it's not a waste of loving. All the good times soon are coming, though it's hard to say. Ooh, we can take the change. We can take the change. Well, it's walls that start constructing in the elementary days. And when the children start destructing, they divert the blame to being gay, or making bad decisions that we know they ought to make. Oh, what am I now? Well, but one good thing remains. Ooh, but anyways, yeah. Baby, it's not a waste of money, honey. I just wanna make things good for you, so you know that I'm the truth. I'm the truth, yeah. Well, it's walls that start constructing in our elementary days. When the children start destructing, they divert the blame to being gay, or making bad decisions that we know they ought to make. What am I now? Yeah, but one good thing remains. Ooh, but anyways. One thing still remains. One good thing still remains.
The D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.